The Middle East and Africa has had rather mixed blessings in the last couple of years where it comes to their economies. But what's it going to be like today and in the future? With us is Stephen Wong. He's the regional director for the HKTDC in that part of the world. Stephen, really looking at Dubai and the other United Arab Emirates and their markets. Of course, they've been under some scrutiny very recently and indeed for the last few years. But how do you see that actually arising? Are those markets basically recovering?
Well, in the first 3 months of this year, Dubai property prices have registered a 2% increase. This is the third consecutive quarterly increase. So that is a sign of the gradual stabilization in the real estate market in Dubai.
So you're talking about some really very large projects, aren't you, in that part of the world? Can you describe what you see there?
We call them mega projects. There are 3 of them actually, which have been concluded in the recent months. For example, the tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa, the installation of the curtain wall was done by 45 Hong Kong engineers. And also the biggest racetrack in the world, the Meydan racetrack, was completed about 2 months ago. A Hong Kong company again has secured the contract to do the customization of the LED wall, which is probably about 30% bigger than our Shatin LED wall. It's ranked #1 in the world. And also, if you look at the infrastructure projects, the mass transit railway of Hong Kong is one of the consultants to the Dubai Metro. And they provide consultancy service, particularly in the area of retail space, rental, and also our Octopus card technology from Hong Kong has also been introduced to Dubai.
Stephen, would you say that the Hong Kong name really reverberates where it comes to some of these very large projects that you just described?
Well, a lot of projects are undertaken with Hong Kong-Chinese collaboration, particularly in the retail and wholesale sectors. For example, 9 years ago, we only probably saw about 30,000 Chinese living in the Emirates. Today, it has already surpassed the 250,000 mark. So the interest of Hong Kong as well as Chinese manufacturers have also been focused, particularly in Dubai because of the importance being a transit hub to countries in the region. Now with the opening of the new airport, which the Dubai government has announced, which should probably be around June, July this year, there will also be a special arrangement whereby goods going from Hong Kong to Abu Dhabi, to Jebel Ali, could be cleared through customs and be loaded onto an airplane to other parts of the region. Now, at the moment, the airport is about 40 kilometers away from the port. Now, the new airport is actually right next to the port, so that would save tremendously the time taken to clear customs, as well as actually help a lot of Hong Kong companies doing what we call the sea air, i.e. shipping the goods from Hong Kong to Dubai and eventually shipping them either to countries in the region or even to Europe.
So further afield, would you see a greater interest from Hong Kong in places like Iran, even Iraq?
Well, Iran is a market we are looking at closely because of the huge population. It's about 70 million people, plus the natural resources which Iran has. And on average, there are about 20,000 Iranians going to the trade fairs in China every year. They do come to Hong Kong, but relatively in smaller numbers. But in the case of Iran, I think there are a lot of Iranian companies operating out of Dubai which are purchasing from Hong Kong. Plus also there are significant Iranian people who find interest in the exhibition venues in Hong Kong. For example, in the TDC trade fairs, we have about 20 Iranian companies that participated in our home textile show, plus another 20 that went to our food fair last year. Bearing in mind that Iran is the biggest producer of things like pistachio, in the world. So a lot of the food industry have focused on using Hong Kong as a platform to market their goods to Greater China.
Traditional Hong Kong exports, things like jewellery and electronics, seem to have fallen off a cliff where it comes to the Middle East over recent years. But where do you see that really going into the future?
For jewellery business, a lot of the retail business depends on tourists. Now, in the case of tour groups going to Dubai now, because of the economic recession, naturally, we're seeing a decline in terms of jewellery purchased by tourists. But in the case of things like electronics, housewares, home textiles, these areas are performing very, very well because of the, for example, the large number of hotel projects. I was told over $140 billion worth of hotel projects are still in the pipeline. And a lot of our buyers coming to Hong Kong from that region actually are providing services to these hotels. Qatar, for example, is bidding for the 2022 World Cup. And if they succeed, they have to build 40,000 more rooms. This is a requirement required by the International Confederation of Football. So look at all these possibilities. I think there are tremendous opportunities for Hong Kong. And we are talking now about the new Silk Road. You mentioned Iraq. People are trying to connect Europe with Asia. But then the only way to do it, geographically, you can do it via Iraq, or you can do it via Turkey or Syria. But at the moment, because of the rail links, they are not yet connected, or they have been devastated during the war. So a lot of these rebuilding are being undertaken by the Iraqi government. And the numbers given to me was $50 billion worth of infrastructure projects in Iraq, which means there's tremendous opportunity for Hong Kong companies to pursue their business in that area.
So, Stephen, really looking at your area, including, of course, the Middle East, you'd say that that was really in recovery.
Yes, for certain places. Of course, if you say Dubai, it would probably take maybe a year or two for it to fully recover. But we are seeing, as I mentioned earlier, the real estate prices have stabilized. The Dubai Chamber has reported that this year retail sales would go up by 4%. Tourism, although not increasing in significant numbers, is still doing well. 150,000 Chinese tourists went to Dubai last year. So all these point to the fact that the market is recovering, but slowly.